things that you can do and that people can offer for anybody is like, just be the best person that you could be, and whatever you can do to help the next person above you or anywhere around you, like they're going to see that, and they might not notice it the first day, the second day, the first week, the second week, but I guarantee they're going to start picking up like, hey, this guy, like, he just, for example, like working in the industry, right? Like, not only when I'm ready to leave, I don't just do my tasks, right? I do my tasks and then one or two more. Hey, what else do you need done? I need ice done. I got it. Here you go. Because when I close and I ask you to do something, you're going to do it, and then you're going to do something else. And you're not going to hesitate. It's just like, man. So I think a lot of people are selfish, right? So you have to, this is a very weird time that we live in. So you just have to learn to take care of the others around you, and it all pays off. I mean, everybody says take care of yourself before others. Take care of others before you take care of yourself. Because at the end of the day, like, sure, you're going to be your own person, but at least everybody's different, right? Some people are intro and extroverted, so it's a little harder for some people more than others. I'm very extroverted, so it's very easy for me to have a conversation with a lot of people, or be able to, like, I'm very transparent when it comes to a lot of things. So
yeah,
if I could sit there and just have a conversation, and as long as it stays at a conversation, I think one of the hardest things when there's a disagreement, right?
Yeah.
And we see a lot of disagreements in this world, especially nowadays because of politics, right? Or you have a disagreement at work with some other coworker, and it's me personally, I get worked up, and I'll start getting fired up and a little bit more emotionally involved into it. But you got to learn to, like, sometimes at the end of the day, I know a lot of people that go through a lot, right? And I think we all can say that.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know what that person's going through. Right? You can get cussed out, and like they could be a completely different person, or that could be the same person, but like, how do you know what their personal lives are going through? So
sure,
it's hard, right? So that's why you got to help others. Like I have plenty of coworkers that I don't get along with, but they don't know that, right? They're just like, oh, Braxton's always happy. Why is that? Well, it's because, like, you don't want to see me when I'm pissed, like nobody likes that person, so why would I want to bring it out? So what do you think?
That. I mean, it's more like treat others how you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
I mean, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Because if you treat someone how you want to be treated, means, like, think about this way, is like, in the sense of, like, if you're treating somebody badly, expect it right back to you. I mean, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Why is that such a hard concept for millions of people?
Because we're all born selfish.
It really is.
Humans by nature are born selfish.
Fair.
And so it's a natural primal instinct that everyone has, and so it's like it's hard to overcome genetic traits that we have been given.
At a certain point, you're not a monkey, and at a certain point, you're a human.
Absolutely.
So, I 100% would agree with that. I'm just speaking on a primal level. We're all born a certain way, and unfortunately, some people take those more primal traits, I guess is the best word for it.
Sure.
Primal traits to heart. And so, okay, anyway, before we get more into this, welcome back to the PM Podcast. I'm Aaron. This is Blake.
How you doing?
And today we are joined by a very special guest. If you guys have watched the 25 Days of Alcohol, you know him very well. His name is Braxton. His last name is Gore, and he was the bartender for the episode, for 5 episodes of 25 Days of Alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
it was a great time. Heck yeah. Thanks,
welcome
brother.
to the PM Podcast.
Thanks for having me. Absolutely.
You are officially the first guest of the PM Podcast.
Well,
That's
thanks.
right.
Thanks for having me,
Technically.
guys. I really appreciate that.
We've had one other guest before on the podcast, I guess, but the PM Podcast, when we rebranded, has never had a guest. So you are officially the first guest.
Thanks. Heck yeah.
Excluding my wife, because she doesn't really count. But
Right. You don't say that, right?
She doesn't really count. I
She
mean,
always counts.
She
always counts.
She's the producer of the show. She doesn't. She was here.
She always counts. It's
just so everybody's aware she's in the room. Now, so
but
that's
what we were talking about, What we were talking about before you guys showed up and listened, we were talking about a lot of different things, actually. But we were talking about the effects of selfishness on society. And my last point before we kind of got into this was how it's human nature. We are all born selfish, and so it's really hard for a human to overcome those selfish traits and natures that we all have. I mean, there's no such thing as a selfless act, and I think that kind of is where it stands true. Like, everything you do, nothing is selfless. Like, because when you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, okay, let me use this for example. I'm gonna talk to you. Okay. Let's say like, have you ever helped a homeless guy?
Yeah.
Like, giving them money or whatever, or food or whatever.
Absolutely.
And how did it make you feel when you did it?
Depends on the situation.
Oh, of course, but generally speaking, I'm not going to generalize. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, it makes you feel good. Right. When you help somebody, it gives you like this warm, bubbly feeling inside, like I helped somebody else. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, if you did it to feel good, or if you did it for a reason to feel good, or if it made you feel good, it's still selfish in a minute way. Because I don't believe there's any such thing as a selfless act. Not that it's not generous and very kind, because helping anyone in need is super kind. And I feel like I'm that kind of person where, like, if I see someone in need, I'm going to help them, regardless of the situation. And it's not about me feeling good sometimes, but at the end of the day, it does make me feel good that I did it. And so I feel like that's a little selfish of me to a degree.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But here's the one thing that I would kind of do a little caveat with that.
Okay. Why are you sitting on the ground?
Because that's the closest I can get to the mic without like carrying it with me.
When you're on there, but yeah.
So and plus it's comfortable.
Okay, as long as you're comfortable.
It's comfy.
I don't care.
So with that being said, though, I mean, so I've actually had an instance where now people that have heard us and whatnot, I was like, I am someone that is a follower of God. Okay, yeah. So not trying to bring any kind of religion into this. Okay, it's like, but when it comes down to it, it's like, you know, you talked about like, hey, it's like, have you ever helped somebody that was on the side of the road, all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's a parable in the Bible.
I mean, but when it comes down to like, I mean, there was a time where, you know, it was like I had no money in my bank account, and you know, it was like I walked in and I absolutely need some type of food. Like I walked into a McDonald's, okay, like, and that's hard for me.
To walk in and say you need food?
To walk in saying I need food and not knowing that I have no money in my account. Okay, I got to a point to where I have no money in my account.
Why was that hard for you?
Because it's very hard for me to go into
ask for help.
No. It's not that. It's a level of pride.
It is a level of pride.
Absolutely.
However, it's more in the fact of like I'm trying everything I can not to go on a credit card.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So with that being said, though, like I knew going into McDonald's alone, whether it's the dollar menu or not, okay, I ended up spending like $5. Okay, I know that's not a whole lot, but for me at that time, like my mental capacity.
I mean, $5 at McDonald's is a lot.
Dude, it gets you a lot of food, bro. Yeah, I don't know, but anyways, yeah, I heard.
So the reason why it was $5 because I wasn't just paying for myself.
Absolutely.
So
dang, he split the bill.
Oh, okay. Now it's clicking.
He's like, I got a McChicken and I called it a day.
Now it's clicking. Okay, so with that being said, though, I had actually more than negative in my account. Like I was owing money to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a great way to start off.
Right? It's like, but I knew I needed something to eat because I was working that day. Like I needed something before I got home. It was just one of those things where it's like if I drove any longer, I was going to fall asleep because of lack of food.
Oh, wow.
This was something I needed.
Wait, how long ago was this?
This was about a year
2
and a
days
half ago.
Oh, okay.
A year and a half ago? Wait. I knew you then.
Yeah.
We were filming the show then.
Yep.
What?
Mm-hmm. There's
Hold
a
on.
lot of things I don't explain because
Hold
on.
it's not for the fact that like someone else needs to know that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
just-
but
Great.
hold on. That's buzzing. Hold on. Why didn't you come and ask me?
it's the fact that like I want to see what I can do for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
Sure.
also wanted to rely on God more than anything.
But
else.
if you're starving and you're hungry, I would have 100. You could have come over here and gotten.
I know, and I appreciate that. It's like, but it's one thing to. I don't ask for help until I truly need it, and at this sense, like I didn't feel like I truly needed it at this point.
So
Now, most people, when they feel like they're out of money, they truly need it. Here's the difference. Before you go into any questions,
yeah, go ahead.
okay? Because I know you're gonna have. Some
I'm gonna have
questions.
a lot of questions.
That's fine. That's fine. That's why I go into the segment. So, with that being said, though, like I walk into McDonald's, okay, there's this person that was about $1.50 short, right? It was like nothing big,
Okay.
and this person was trying to bargain with them, everything like that. It was like because they were hungry, trying to get something. And I say, you know what? It's like, how much was their bill? You know, just put it on mine. Just go for it. It's like, but the fact of it is that I knew I had no money and I was putting it on credit, but I knew for myself that God was going to take care of me in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like I was going to help somebody else. I was still helping myself in the sense. Yes, that was being selfish in the sense of I was still getting something out of it. You could place it that way.
Sure.
But being selfless in the fact that, like, you know what? I'm going to put somebody else first who is ordering more than me.
Of course.
Their bill ended up being like $2.50 or something like that. Like a little over 200.
Pocket change,
like
right?
$2.
$2 and some change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, but it added up to be about $5 and maybe some odd cents. I don't know how much. It's been a while. But the truth of the matter is though, like, yes, no matter what it is you do in life, it's always going to be selfish. That's just human nature. But how you come about being selfish to be selfless, if you're being selfish by helping somebody else, automatically you're selfless.
Yeah.
If you're helping somebody else,
I think there's a balance to it.
there is a balance.
But
But
I think
here-
that it can be selfish
You-
in that regard.
there's nothing wrong with being selfish.
No, I mean, it's fine. Anyway.
There's let me. There's
yeah.
a reason why I say that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being selfish. I actually had a conversation with a guy just the other day. He was talking about being depressed, everything like that. I was like, because of the fact that like, everyone talks about how such a good guy is because he does everything for everybody, but he doesn't do anything for himself.
Yeah.
But he feels that everything he's doing for someone else, being kind, everything like that, is for himself.
Okay.
Because of the fact that he feels that that's what God is telling him to do, everything like that, so he feels selfish for it. There is nothing wrong with that because you're benefiting somebody else. If you're not benefiting somebody else, what's the point of doing it?
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I respect the hell out of it. I think we're getting away from the point just a little bit.
I don't mean it in a
But
religion.
no. I
aspect of
know.
things. But
I get 100% what you're saying. I don't know what time we're at, so I'm just gonna move forward, because the whole point we're here, and the whole point is why Braxton's here. Is we want to talk. We want to have a good time.
Yeah, dude.
So what's up? It's been like 5 minutes since you talked. Sorry.
No. I think it's a different perspective.
Wait, you don't want to debate?
No. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
No, I love the I love the different perspectives. I totally see that side, and that's what's great about a conversation, right? And people don't People need to figure that out, right? Learn to have a conversation with people, right? So, and that's what's I really appreciate this segment, and I think it's going to be a good time. But I totally agree and disagree at a certain point with both of you guys, right? I think there's certain times where, like example, is you were talking about the primal need.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree, right? I think I agree to some of the parts, and I disagree, right? Like you can train a dog. To not be like how many it took us like what a few hundred years to make a breed of a dog, and like they don't have the animal instincts anymore. You put an animal in a zoo, breed that for like 2 or 3 of its kin, like it doesn't have the animal instinct anymore. So like yes and no. I think over thousands of years we can teach ourselves to be less selfless or less selfish. But I also agree that there's so many people out there that it's sometimes those people are a little slower.
I think okay, so I disagree on the point that you can train something to not, because let's use the example that the tigers who attacked those people like in the 90s.
Wilfred and Roy.
You know who I'm talking.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So like, and they were bred in captivity.
Yeah.
Like they were 3rd or 4th generation tigers, and turned like that, and it was a primal instinct. And so it's like, where I think,
or really tired,
threatened,
the shit kicked out of them,
right?
Every
either
day,
tired or threatened. But regardless of the cause or the situation, something triggered that cat. And it was a primal response to like, boom, done. I'm done with this. And so I think that where that's a very extreme example, I think that the primal urges and the primal instincts of a human can be similar, where it's like maybe not as on the nose with things, but it can be translated to like, okay, this is a very, like, people can flip on a switch, and we see it from day to day.
Absolutely.
And so I think that I don't think it's possible to train that out of somebody, because we've seen it for thousands of years.
I think,
there are some that just don't leave, and we've seen that over the course of centuries, where it's like they may lessen because society advances, but I don't think they will ever fully disappear. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like, people become less selfish, but I don't think it'll ever fully disappear, because everybody wants a piece of the pie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody wants a piece of the pie, and so I don't think that'll ever disappear, because humans have a desire and a primal need to pursue and grow and increase their wealth and knowledge and power. And it's just like this primal urge for everybody to have that.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think you feel this way because of the time and place where you're at in your life now?
Ooh, I like this. This is a good question. Yes and no. I think because yes and no.
That's a very okay.
Well,
explain.
And I'll explain. I'll expand upon it.
Heard.
So the reason why I say yes and no is because, yes, I believe that I am pursuing power, knowledge, and wealth at my current age now.
Absolutely.
Do I think that if I don't achieve what I want by the time I'm 50, that I won't pursue it anymore, that I'll just accept the world that I'm given? I don't believe so. And I think that the people are the same way. I think that when you get to a certain age to where, like, it's over, like, you know that you can't expand upon it, like when you're like 70 or 80, or like when you've reached a point where it's like it's not going to get any better than it is right now, and you know that because you're at the end of your life, that's when there's that acceptance. But it's like, that's where you also have the most regret. It's like, I should have done this, I should have done that, I could have done this. So I think that's why I say yes and no. Because right now, yes, 100%. But if I'm also 70 and I still haven't accomplished what I wanted, I'll still be in the same boat. There's just nothing I can do about it.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think it's the reason why I asked that question was because I think that there's a time when maybe, at least for personally, right? I guess I was a different person than what I was 10 years ago. And why is that? Because over time, I've adapted, I've learned things, and I've put those to my daily activities.
You've grown, you've expanded,
absolutely.
you've learned, and
So who's to say like someone that is what the topic earlier, you know, more selfish, right? But doesn't see it that way, or it sees it from a different point of view, where you need to have a conversation instead of an argument. So
Yeah.
I think that's just like as you get older, I think some people figure it out younger than others.
Oh,
where
yeah.
they hey, this is what I want to do, and this is who I am. But I still think it's a rare type of person to be like, all right, so according, you know, we're done adulting by like what? Do you consider 21 or 26 when you stop getting insurance? Because that's like that's the worst part. It's like when you're off of mom and dad's insurance, it's like, shit,
it's
I'm an
actually
adult.
it's actually 18 now.
Yeah, I guess I
Well,
see
okay,
that.
it's
right. Where
18
do you get it
until you
at?
get out of college.
I was gonna say,
Fair.
depending
So
on the insurance.
if you go,
Yeah.
Depending on the insurance.
Depends on the insurance is when you adult.
if
right?
you go to college, it's until you graduate your 4-year
absolutely,
degree.
yeah,
If it's after, if
So
you
around
don't,
21.
if you don't go, if you don't go to college, it's 18.
sure. So I think I think with anytime you go to an institution, I think you're always surrounded by more people, and I'm not saying that you have to go to a college institution to get that same kind of experience, because I mean I went to a community college, so it's like I had online classes and I had classes so I mean a lot of people, and I had a potential of not meeting a lot of people, but
Yeah.
I think with time is after a while you realize that's the king of everything, right? How much time you only have 24 hours in your day.
True.
You only have 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
So how do you manage all that time to make you the best person that you can be?
True.
And I mean,
It's really about the people that you surround yourself with.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
you tell me, and we've talked about this before. It's like, but you tell me, or you talk about the 5 most people that you surround yourself with. I'll tell you your income. And it's not for the fact of like money's everything, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's like, but when it comes down to it, it's like you need money to live, right? It's like, what's the one thing, and I know you're going to have a topic on this, okay? It's like, but what's
he looked at me and knew I was gonna say some shit.
Oh,
All
I
right,
know.
Go
I know.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's like, but what's the one thing that most people categorize you in, right? All people. It's how much money do you make, right?
True.
Yeah.
There's
dude, it's
nothing
annoying.
wrong with you making a whole bunch of money or not making a bunch of money. But where's your mindset at?
Yeah.
Right.
Is your mindset at, oh, woe is me? Sorry. Oh, woe is
Just
me.
punch me in the knee.
I'm used to being over there. So
I
I'm
know.
just like,
You're fine. You're good.
It's like, but woe is me, like, oh, this just happens to me every day, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, every day is a new day. I'm going to make it to where I want to make it. Whereas, like, whether it's raining outside, hey, you know what? It's going to be a sunny day to me. Why? Because I have the choice to make it that day. It's like, it doesn't matter what the day is. You choose how you make it. Now, granted, that also has to deal with the people you're surrounded by. If you're surrounded by people that are negative, naturally, human nature is, well, you're going to start thinking that way. If you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are thinking positive, naturally you're going to think positive. And majority of the time, the positive people
Are boring. I know.
oh, it's boring. Yes.
So boring.
It's like, but the positive people are the ones that make the most money,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
are more quote unquote successful.
Sure.
Now, some of those people are very positive, but are not making as much money. They're still deemed successful.
I mean, Jesus Christ, great example, right?
Okay, so I want to continue to expand upon this. I also want to get into the
There's
25.
a lot of different examples.
I also want to get into the 25 days of alcohol and talk to Braxton
yeah.
a little bit more and ask him questions because that's why he's here.
Heard.
oh,
I
yeah,
know,
that's
I know,
right.
I know you
I forgot
guys.
we were here.
Yeah.
Damn it, we're just having a conversation.
I know you guys don't want to hear
Oh, the
us.
beauty of the podcast. Oh, yeah.
I know
Go
you
for
guys
it.
don't want to
Go
hear
for
us
it,
talk
yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah, let's
So we'll get into that.
Talk to me.
But first, we want to mention that the PM podcast is supported by Circle City Tint. You guys need that perfect window tint at a low quality price. No, I'm kidding. Let me redo that. We first mentioned that the PM podcast is supported by Circle City Tint. You guys need that premium window tinting to keep those harmful UV rays and the sunshine out of your eyes? Well, call Circle City Tint. They will tint your full car right now, starting at just $169.99 for your full vehicle. That includes any shade you want and a lifetime warranty. For more information on that, call 317-788-8468 or go to CircleCityTint.com. Winter is here. It is December 26th. It is really cold outside and the snow is falling. So what better way to keep your car in the perfect climate all year round with the Arctic Start Remote Start by Circle City Tint. This remote start can start your car from at least 1,800 feet away. Yeah, that's a quarter of a mile, folks. And it can unlock and lock the vehicle to keep your car perfectly safe just for you. This does come with a lifetime warranty on the parts and labor and will cover everything, including installation, for just $299 for most vehicles. Give them a call for more information, 317-788-8468, or go to CircleCityTint.com for more information. That's once again, 317-788-8468. If you guys want a 15% off promo code, go to pottymouthshow.com/CCT and download that promo code. Must be issued at time of purchase, and they will get you perfectly set up for you today. 317-788-8468, CircleCityTint.com. Now back to the PM podcast.
Lovely.
Alrighty.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you
Very
very
well
much.
done. Heck yeah, dude.
Have a little bit of practice
Go
doing
use
that.
those discount codes, guys. Come on, help
Look
Potty
at-
Mouth out. Jesus
look at
Christ,
him
dude.
plugging
don't let
us.
Don't let him fuck it. Don't let him do that for that fabulous thing.
Okay.
Lifetime warranty.
Okay. On most
was
dudes.
not.
On everything. Okay, so
Talk to me.
let's go into
Yeah, let's get to it.
so let's go into we were just talking about money. And I'm not even gonna go there. I was gonna ask you, I'm like, okay, guess my income. I was gonna ask you that because I don't know, because you see the people that I hang out with,
Not all of them.
at least 5 of them. I hang out with Ellen, you, Matt, one friend named Chris who you haven't met, and then the 5th one would be, that's it. I don't I only hang
Pick a
out
random
with
one.
what?
Well, that's the thing, though. I don't know how much Ellen makes. I don't know how much Matt makes.
Oh, so you're saying if you know how much the 5 people make, you can guess their income.
Not only that, it's like, but being around them and being able to understand them a little bit.
I think now the way society's shaped, I think that it becomes more of a gray area.
It can be.
People
Salary?
can what?
Salary or how much you make?
Yeah. Because because you can put a really good shadow on things. Like
Absolutely.
like the way. Okay, this is not to toot my own horn. And by the way, for those of you watching or listening, I don't make this. I'm just saying. But if you'd seen the studio, what me and my wife drive, what we do, and
Absolutely.
everything we have, you'd think we were millionaires. Or at least really successful people. At least making 6 figures every single year. And I'm not going to say that we do or we don't. I'm just saying that's the image that we put off. And I believe that if you make a relatively fair living, you can make yourself seem like you make a lot more than you actually do.
Absolutely.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, but
I
some,
mean,
some people overdo it.
Yeah, and that's one thing that, like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing by any means,
Yeah.
because people do that, but they also have a plan involved.
Yeah.
Other people do that. They have no idea what the heck they're doing.
True.
And that's most people today.
True.
They're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
That's actually very true.
It's
Yeah.
That's very true. I
being
agree.
very true. Is like, for instance, let's say, for instance, at your house, let's say the neighbors over there, they get a private fence coming in, right? It's like, and you get the idea, oh, well, I want a private fence, blah, 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 right? Like,
And it just keeps
it's
going
just,
down the
it
line.
just keeps going downhill, right? It was like, that's
get
just
a
how
boat,
it is.
I get a
Except
boat.
we can't have a fence
They
in
get a
my
pool.
yard.
I get
well.
a pool. Yeah, obviously.
No,
Well,
I can't have a fence. We just live on a pond, so I can't have a fence. Like, That's bullcrap. Anyway,
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm gonna put a pin in this.
Anyways,
because you will go on for hours about this.
I would.
So we need to put a pin in. I love you. I love you so much. We gotta put a pin in this, and we gotta start talking to him, because last time we talked, me and you talked the whole time and didn't engage the guest at all.
Really?
So,
well, yeah, I'm just I'm taking both perspectives.
no,
so, yeah,
I know.
Heard,
but we're gonna get on
bad.
to we're gonna. No,
My
you're
bad.
fine. You're fine. We're gonna get on to you now.
Heard. Oh,
Okay,
boy. On the
so-
spotlight. Let's go.
All
Shoot
right.
away.
Get it.
So, this is your first time working with PM Media.
Yeah.
You have met me once before.
Yep.
And then you've met Blake a few times before. I know I've asked you this throughout the night. I want you to give me your honest first impression of PM Media. Like the second you walked in the door. Because we rent a house out. Everyone knows that. The company rents a house, and we have the studio inside the house. The people that have been watching know that. They've known that for a long time. So as soon as you walked in the door, what was your immediate impression? I want you to give your first impression of the show.
Well, all right. Fair. I'll
Yeah.
be very transparent.
Do it.
So-
Do it. Or what? No. Let me get you this. Be transparent then. What was your initial impression?
Right.
Like before, when we first talked,
Sure.
like what'd you expect? And
Yeah.
then when you saw it, what was the, you know what I mean?
I think, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, when we had the conversation, like, hey, we need a bartender for this segment. This is what it's going to be.
But we haven't met at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was, I'm very, I like to, what is the word that I'm looking for? I like to look for opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, I think, I work a lot, and, one of those jobs that I work is bartending, and, I really enjoy that. And I also, I have a good time talking to people. So when I'm able to actually hang out with a bunch of people I knew Blake a little bit before, and I knew his wife because they would come in to see me when I was bartending. So I love the people, and we mentioned earlier, I surround myself with good people. So I knew that this was going to be a good time. But I rolled up to this house, and I'm like, okay, it's a nice house, but like, how do you do any podcasts in there? Well, I was thinking, I was always told video podcast.
Yeah,
like,
because you
I
thought
was
it
like,
was,
what is this?
you thought it was just a podcast.
Yeah.
Which, obviously now.
Yeah.
that
No,
you-
this is
this is the podcast, and then the other thing was a whole different beast.
Yeah. No, so like
that's kind of my fault.
yeah. that's what happens with texting, right? You lose out on some of the context. But no, I mean, I guess I had fairly low expectations, and then I asked about like just the people, all the people, the viewers and stuff. So I asked about them a little bit, and I got a really good feedback on them. So I was like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? The worst thing, I make drinks, so I'll just pour more alcohol in.
That's a good question. What did you think? Like, what did you think you were going to be doing? Like, what did you think the setup was going to be like?
Yeah. So to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be more kind of like this.
Yeah.
Where it was a very chill setting, and then I would be like kind of behind the camera, essentially. Kind of, if you imagine this layout, this is kind of how I imagined it.
Okay.
And then I would be maybe like behind the camera, just making the drinks, and then just pop out and be like, "Here's a classic eggnog."
It's like whatever that we had.
Yeah. So
And then you show up, you walk in the door, and you see the sets
Oh,
and like
man.
the studio and
Dude,
the
I'm
lights
telling
and the
you.
cameras. Like, what was your like?
everything in this house is just like every room you walked into, it was like a whole nother like, oh yeah, we got like these rooms up here, and this is what we do this in. And I'm like, oh, that's like nuts. I mean, they got all the bells and whistles, so I don't know a whole lot about like this stuff, like the electronics, but my roommate, he does videography
Yeah.
and stuff like that. We talked about that. So I see the equipment. I see, like, I think that I guess this will lead into what I think that this place, this Potty Mouth can lead up to.
Yeah.
Is like, you guys have all the tools right now. You just need those people to be able to see this content and be able to like and subscribe and be able to get you guys to that next level. Because I mean, without people, I mean, we're all having a good time.
Oh yeah.
But
of
at some
course.
point, you want others to see this kind of content that you guys create. And I
you
think
have to grow.
dang, I watched so many episodes before this episode, and it was like every day something's new, right? It's like every day of the week. You were telling me. I didn't realize it because I've never heard of Potty Mouth until
you hadn't done a whole lot of research,
right?
Yeah.
So it was like, but that's what I wanted. I didn't want to be like, oh, this is how this is how they want to do it. Like I want to show up and like you told me to be myself, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be myself. So I'm gonna treat
which
this
did
like
awesome,
any other gig.
by the way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I was slightly nervous, but I think
I could tell the first time.
Yep.
So the first episode, so we filmed 5 episodes tonight. And just in case you're wondering, it is a very late night for us.
Yes, it is.
Because Blake's call time. I'm gonna throw you under the bus, brother. I love you. Blake's call time was 6:00. He didn't get here till 8:10.
Yeah, well.
It is currently 3:42 in the morning when we are filming this podcast.
I have good reasons.
But when you're around good
thank you so
people,
much
it's
for
easy.
being here
Absolutely.
and helping out.
Absolutely.
All of our producer is asleep. Everybody's gone. So it's just us. But I'm glad you stayed around, man. Really, truthfully,
Me too.
I am.
This is great.
This is fun. I mean,
Love the opportunity.
I kind of thought, so when you walked in, it was funny to me because no one ever expects, because when I say PM Media and I talk about the production company and blah, 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 like everybody's like, oh, cool, like this is awesome. And then they walk in and they see the sets and the cameras and the lighting and they're like, oh, wow, this is
Absolutely
way more than I thought it was going to be. And so it was funny to me when you walked in and I was like, what do you think? And you kind of like looked over and as soon as you made eye contact with the sets, you're like, whoa.
Oh, shit. It's one of those.
You're like, wow. And to go back to your point when you said you were nervous, like the first couple.
Absolutely.
For the first 2 rounds of the very first episode that we filmed, I saw you when you were pouring the drinks, you were kind of shaking a little bit. Because you were like, because
Just a little bit.
it's nerve wracking, isn't it though?
They like
When the
ladies
camera's
like Absolutely.
rolling and the attention's
Absolutely.
on you, it's like, oh, like no one's really watching.
I
But
think-
it's like,
I think what it was that was so intimidating is that, so I mean, it was kind of nice that Blake was a little late, 2 hours late. But it gave me a chance to be able to talk to, everybody, kind of see how everything was running.
Yeah.
I think what was so intimidating, I guess, out of the entire thing was like, I could definitely see the amount of time and effort like both of you guys put into this. And it's like, man, I want to be just as good, if not, be able to keep up with you guys to give you that kind of great content. I mean, I think it's only fair for your viewers and everything like that, but and for you guys obviously. But I think that was just like that intimidating thing. But at the end of the day, it was like, I don't know how many times you're like, oh dude, you're doing great. Like, oh man, just keep it up. Like, oh, the positive attitude. And like it took, like you said, it took me 2 rounds and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like if I mess up, they don't care. I don't care.
it is. Well,
We're all having a good time.
we've always tried to keep that balance.
Absolutely.
Like we're a family here. Like
Absolutely.
it happens. Like, dude, the amount of times me and Blake fucked up on just the intro to I'm sure.
Oh,
like, whoa,
shoot.
Even today.
dude, bro. Every time we film like the first episode of the night, because we usually film like 4 to 5 a night. Every single time we film an episode, the very first one, you can bet on it. Me and Blake are fucking up like 15 times on the intro.
At least.
Because a lot of times we'll ad-lib the intro. We don't have it scripted. We don't have it written. It's just like, oh, what do we think this like we kind of feel it out. Like, okay, this episode is about this. We're doing this. What would be a funny little like catcher? Like what would grab the audience? And so we think of that on the spot. Well, unfortunately, sometimes Blake or I will overthink what we're trying to say, and then we just fuck up every single word we're trying to say. We just fumble over everything. Yeah. So what I think that helped you a little bit, seeing us mess up, it's
Absolutely.
like
Yes,
we mess up
I agree.
so much, and like your job was to stand there and clean the glass.
Yep.
Like,
Nice
but what's cool is how like, and I really respect the hell out of you for this. Is like, you're like, hey, what if I did this? Like you kind of like jumped in. Because you saw us trying to figure stuff out, and you kind of like just jumped in and was like, "Hey, let me add this. Like, I think it'd be funny." And it was like you added to the quality of the show, and made it funnier. And
Thanks,
and there was a part like where it's like, me and Blake were trying to make a joke and we couldn't figure out the connection, and you were just like, hey, what about this? And it was like
it was the White Christmas, wasn't it?
It was perfect, and it fit perfectly
Absolutely.
within the show. I don't know if it's in there now. I you guys have already seen it, so
But
I
I
have.
see what you're saying. Absolutely.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like there were you kind of filled the hole that we needed,
Right on.
and it was really cool to see that. So, I think that it was really great experience. Okay, so you saw the sets, which Blake being late kind of sucked, but also
Hold on. By the way, before we get into anything else, I am never, ever this late.
never this late. That's true.
I've never been 2 hours late.
He's never been
Ever.
doing it. He's always been like. Usually it's like
Maybe
10.
it's like 5, maybe 10.
It's always 10.
It's like,
Don't
come
lie.
on now. Come
Don't
on
lie.
now. Come on.
Don't lie. No. You pull up. Hold on.
Fashionably late is
No.
different than being late.
Hold up. So call time is usually 5 o'clock.
Oh.
And Blake has decided with his schedule and everything, it's usually 4 o'clock because he wants to get an early start so we can get home to his wife, which I completely understand and respect, by the way. But the funny thing is that his call time is 4, so it's like we're already at 4 o'clock, and then he'll show up at like 3:55, and then he'll sit in his car for 15-20 minutes, and then
Talking to his
and
wife,
then
man.
walk-
Leave him alone.
No, he's not. No,
And
he's
the
not.
the sad part is I'm not talking to my wife. I'm talking to other clients
Oh, her.
Right.
at
Yeah.
that time.
No, you can keep it. Just keep it about like 6 to 8 inches from your face.
Okay.
I'm
talking to other
Fair,
clients at
fair,
that time.
fair.
So it's the fact is like I'm still doing work
Still working.
at that time. It's like, but like I'm doing work up until the point that I
He-
get to the set.
Yeah,
You're a workhorse, dude.
He's working on his business, but then he'll walk in like 15-20 minutes later, and we're like, ready?
Dude, you both are
sorry,
workhorses.
Oh no! I'm
Absolutely.
just playing with you. It's so funny. So here's the thing. Don't show up late because I say this, by the way. So
Fair.
we say 4 o'clock, but me and the producers and everybody, it's always 4:30. Because we know by the time that Blake gets in the door, as soon as he walks in, he's got to take a shit, and then he's got to go upstairs and change and do his hair. So it's like 4:30 is our call time.
His hair isn't always like that.
Some
It's
days.
not permanent.
Hey,
I've
today it definitely was.
Dude, today you walked in ready to go.
dude, Blake, I'm just saying.
But Blake also showed up 2
I
hours
was also
late.
2 hours late. But
So if you didn't show up ready to go, it was gonna be like, bro, really? Like, come on. No, I'm just playing. Okay, back to you.
yeah,
So-
take it off me.
So you're welcome. So the 25 days of alcohol.
yeah,
It
dude, that was fun.
was fun. You
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
it?
mean, what'd you think? I mean, I honestly being my first,
this is
experience
your first. I mean,
doing this.
Honestly, I always tell people. They always ask me what it is, and I'm like, it's basically a TV show.
Yeah,
like, it's
absolutely.
a fully produced television
every
show.
day of the week. There's some theme for every day of the week, and
Yeah.
you're kind of doing. I don't know, man. It's
And it's fully produced, as
Yeah.
you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously
Absolutely.
you guys don't see this. But in between the scenes where me and Blake are talking, or if he's making a drink, our producer is on set helping him the whole time, making sure everything is camera ready, making sure that everything's where it needs to be, making sure that things are right on the set. Like, it is a full-blown production, and it
Dude,
can be
absolutely.
overwhelming. So how overwhelming was everything? Like, honestly, now that it's over, how was it overwhelming at all to you? Like, was it like, did it ever catch you off, or you're like, wow, this is a lot?
No, not really. Honestly,
Okay.
I think at first it was a little overwhelming because I was like, oh man, like, what if I fuck up and everybody sees it, and like, but like honestly, like I think you noticed it and you kind of pointed it out really well earlier. It's like, it took me first couple drinks, but I mean, I'm a bartender. Really, I got the recipe right in front of me. It's not that hard, right? I do
Yeah.
this every day. I'm around people I already know, and I'm around cool people on top of that. So it's like, and honestly, shout out to Ellen, dude. She was freaking killing it. She was the best bar back ever, right? Producer ever, right? Like,
She killed it.
I don't know how, dude.
She does it every
That
week
was
too.
nuts. Like, I was just like, what do you need? She's like, just just like, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. And I was
That's
just like,
true.
all right, I'll just get out of your way then. Like,
There were multiple times
I wish I had barbacks that did that.
where Braxton was like, "Hey, what do you need? What can I do?" And she's like, "No, I got it. Here's what you need." And she's like, and Braxton's like, "Oh, okay." Like nothing you can do. Like she had, literally, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there was one time tonight where you asked for something, or said, "Hey, can I help with something?" She's like, "No, I got it here."
No, yeah, done.
and handed it to you immediately.
Yeah. And I was like, bet. Or yeah.
She does a great job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, as far as being overwhelmed, I don't know. What about you guys? Do you guys feel like, I mean, is that like, is this overwhelming for you? Said this was one of your biggest segments or
This
your biggest
is
episode kind of thing?
This is the biggest undertaking we've ever done as a company.
Yeah.
For him, it probably wasn't overwhelming, but
No, it wasn't.
But it's also because, no offense to you at all, Blake is the talent. Like, he comes in, he has his lines, he says them, and he ad-libs. Whereas, like, Ellen's the producer of the show, she directs the show, she makes sure everything's in its place. I am the editor, co-creator,
Yeah, dude.
owner. So, like, me and her are focused on everything, every
Right.
little aspect. So for me, yeah, it's overwhelming.
It was tonight,
it-
the episodes were overwhelming, to an
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah, because I'm also even being the
True.
talent, and I'm up there with Blake. But so here's the deal. Okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna get deep.
Oh shit.
So
Buckle up.
I'm the talent. I'm an actor on the show. I am the host of a show. So I have to be entertaining and constantly engaged with Blake and making sure that me and him are making good rapport and talking about the drinks and engaging with the audience and everything like that. That's not actually there. But also I have to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, and I have to make sure that you're where you're supposed to be, and I have to make sure the cameras are rolling, I have to make sure the audio is going, I have to make sure that all the drinks are in place, I have to make sure that the props are in place, because like certain props were used in certain times like that, and like, or you'd be over in one place and I needed you here, or the producer would be behind camera B when I need to make camera A. And so there's a lot of jumping around that I have to be constantly focused on, including even down to the minute thing where it's like I knew there were a few times where I didn't mean to come off rude. Even if I did, I apologize.
Absolutely. So rude.
Okay, thanks. So where I was like, actually, can you get back here, please? Like I always try to like please. I always try to say like please, and like I'm being assertive because I need it done. But
Yeah.
I always try to be kind about it.
Yeah.
But like there was multiple times where I knew that I called you and I was like, you're behind me or like over by the board, and I'm like, can you get behind there, or can you come over here, like can you do that? And so I feel like sometimes I'm very aggressive because I'm very assertive.
I think you're just in the moment. Like you're just like,
Yeah,
all right, like I'm ready to, like I want this,
I'm
this
ready
is
to
how I
go.
want this, like this is perfect. Yeah, so I don't think
Exactly.
it's like, yeah, I see what you're saying though.
And so but some people take it kind of wrong because they think that I'm bossing them around. But it's also like, and I respect that you understand that, but also that like the people that work around me have to understand that it's a vision that I have, and it's a vision that the production team has.
Absolutely.
And we have a way that we want it to come out, and you are a prop in that. And I want you to be and look a certain way. Like, I can't tell you how many times I have looked at Blake's collar and been like, and just adjusted it for no reason. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just fixing your collar." And like, it's random things that happen in the show, in the production process, that a lot of people don't see. Like, I am very analytical, and I'm very like, what would you call it?
Anal?
I'm very anal about things.
You're very analytical and very. I mean, it sounds like you pay attention to detail.
I am very attentive.
Attentive.
I'm attentive to detail.
He's like, I'm a very
Sure.
attentive. That
Yeah.
was the word.
We'll
Yeah.
call it that. We'll call it that.
What would you call it? Would you say I'm anal?
From time to time.
Does it ever
okay.
does it ever
It's
get
not a
annoying?
big
Does
deal.
it ever
There's
get
nothing wrong
annoying?
with anal.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially when it's your baby.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
true.
And that's why, like, when you tell me, like, hey, it's like, I need this, this, and this done, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal. It's
Fair.
like, I know my part,
yeah,
and I know your part. I know Ellen's part when it comes to it. It's like, okay. But when you get somebody in here that doesn't know their part,
That's true.
That's when
it
there's
gets
a
a whole. I think
Stuff.
I'm gonna go back. I'm
We'll go
gonna give you a throwback.
Okay, he says we'll go there.
We're gonna go there. I'd give everybody a throwback.
Facts,
The
okay.
time where me and Blake felt completely out of control.
Oh, fuck, okay.
Was the time. Okay, this is a story for you too. This is great.
But
It is
So, there's one time, because I am so in control of everything. I'm
when I walked in this house, I was like, dang.
yeah.
Anyways.
No. It's fair. Blake will admit I'm a control freak. I am.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I am. Admit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a control freak.
I think you like to take control of your life. If someone changes that in whatever way it is, you can shut it down pretty quick. Or,
yeah.
you know, if
No,
that makes
that's
sense,
that's
if that makes
fair.
sense.
No,
Right, I
because
don't
if it's not the way I want it, I can make
Right.
it the way I want it very quickly.
But at the end of the day, it's your life. you know?
Right.
You
Well,
do
okay.
you,
So,
boo-boo.
but the one time that I felt out of control on our freaking show
Oh.
was we had a guest. His name is Matt Schaefer. I have mentioned this motherfucker more times than I can
Oh,
count.
God.
Dude, this guy is freaking insane. So he's like 6'2", 260. Like he is
That's a big dude.
big. And he can drink. And he drank both of us under a table. Like, I don't remember closing up set that day.
Oh, fuck.
Like, we were blackout drunk.
Been
Yeah.
there before.
It was bad. It was bad.
And, like, I was trying to be so in control and so in the moment. And he just walked in and blew us all out the water. Like,
oh, God. Was it the whiskey? What were you drinking then?
we drank 2/5 of vodka.
I don't even remember.
No. 2 handles of vodka. 2 handles of vodka and 6 beers between 3 guys. 2 handles.
What'd you use the beer for, chasers? Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And we ate,
I needed to at that time.
we ate kolaches that day. The only kolache, we had 12 kolaches. Do you know what a kolache is?
I was literally, you could tell by my face, couldn't you?
Yeah,
was
I could.
What the fuck
A
is
kolache is a yeast roll filled with a bunch of stuff.
Okay, bet. Okay.
Well,
I feel like that's like a common.
You're going to come
Oriental
back
dish.
on the show and we're going to try them.
Bet.
So, we had kolaches, and I only remember eating the pepperoni pizza kolache. And everything else, I was blacked out. I was gone. Dude, this guy is freaking insane, and I felt out of control, and it scared the hell out of me. But anyway, that's the moment where I felt out of control. But let's, okay, I'm just, you know what? Fuck it. So we're gonna go deep. We're gonna get deep. For those of you watching right now, I think Blake knows where I'm going because he kind of nodded and looked at me.
Uh-oh.
I
I have no idea where you're going, so let's go there.
For those of you that have been watching for the 2 years, this actually, god damn, this will be 2 years.
This would be. Yep.
Yeah, when this releases, it'll be 2 years that we have been filming and releasing this show. Oh, this is hard. I don't want to say this.
We can talk about
No,
ice
no.
cream and gumdrops.
It's
if you want
fine.
to. Yeah, we can talk about the real stuff.
As of the end of February, Blake is leaving the show. And it's a hard pill to swallow. Because I know that it's not your dream. And it's not what you want to do in life. And as much as I want that to be true, I know it's not. And I have to acknowledge it. Because at this point it's December. And I don't want the audience and your fans to be caught off guard by that. So I don't know what to say.
Sounds like you're on a loss for words.
I am.
Blake, what about you, bud? I mean, Do you? I mean, obviously, this is you put 2 years into this for yourself.
I
mean,
love how he's interviewing you on our podcast.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, like I said, dude, I love the perspectives. I mean, this is obviously like. I mean, I guess we did. I did hear Rain about this, beforehand, but I mean, that's obviously I could see what you guys put into this. I mean, this isn't gonna be easy for you, and I mean, you got your own little fan base and stuff like that, but. I mean, at the end of the day, like kind of like what he said, this is you have your own dreams and your own aspirations, and what's your thoughts? What are you thinking? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to it's just really one of those things I don't see myself going forward. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like I'll do whatever needs to be done, it's like, and I'll support this 100% of the time. But, it's like I feel God has told me and is leading me towards a different path when it comes down to it.
That's fair.
And, it's like whether you believe in God or not, I'm not pushing faith onto anybody by any means. Like, you believe what you want to believe when it comes down to it. But, I mean, I feel God has a different path for me. And, it's like when it comes down to it, it's like whether you believe in God or you believe in whatever it is, it's like there are certain times for everything. And it's like there are certain people that you have been presented with, along with people in your life that is going to grow with you, whether you're on the same path as them and whether you're going a different path, if that makes sense at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't mean you can't be friends with them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the sense of like, just because you're going down a separate path as them doesn't mean that you can't be friends with them and, encourage them along the way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm even...
No, it sounds like
speaking English in that point.
No,
but
let me try to interpret for people, right? No,
yeah, go for it.
No, I think obviously what it sounds like this isn't going to be the end of, Blake ever coming onto the show. Like it sounds like, I mean, he's going to come back. He's going to be supportive. And
yeah.
He's gonna
this is most definitely not going to be the end of me being on the show.
Sure.
It's like, but there's a certain time period for everything.
Absolutely.
Of course.
When it comes down to it.
And for those of you at home that are watching or listening or whatever, this is not the end of Blake and I's friendship. Like,
absolutely.
We're not, like, nothing happened in the background. Like, there's no YouTube drama that drove us apart. Like, it's him wanting to pursue something other than entertainment. And we here at PM Media, and me personally, completely respect that. Like, we're not shoving him out. He's not walking away for any other reason other than the fact that he wants to pursue his own ventures. And I think we'll talk about this again on his final episode, and because you'll be on the podcast your final episode, of course. So like we'll talk about it and we'll go into more detail and what his plans are and all that. But it's not the end. It's just he is going in a different direction than what we are, and so I wish you the best in everything you do. Like I don't want you to feel like we have like hard feelings towards you, because we don't. It sucks, and it's hard to admit that because our friendship was built by the show. You don't even know this. So like Blake and I had known each other for like 3 weeks before we started filming, and we had grown our friendship through doing this show. And so it's grown because of that and through that. So it's harder because of that, I think. But at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, I had to pop up right as I was saying this. Sorry, the screensaver said Aaron and Blake. So I don't know.
Well, it sounds like it's definitely not goodbyes, and it's definitely not the last time.
It's not a goodbye, and it's not the last time.
Yeah.
But it is.
It's gonna be different, but I think
it's gonna be a lot different.
I think
but with that being said, you might be seeing more of a certain face that you've already seen. So we're in the process of finding a replacement for Blake. And Blake is 100% behind this and supportive of and helping a replacement come into his own in the show. And we want to make this a good show. I mean, like there's 2 hosts. It's so we got to find the right replacement for Blake. But let me I keep saying replacement. It's not a replacement. Blake can never be replaced. His personality, who he is, it can't be replaced. It's not going to be replaced. You guys aren't going to like it for a little bit, and that's okay. I understand. But we're going to do our best to find someone that can fit that role. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So, yeah.
that was a lot.
That was a lot.
I felt like, man, I felt it. People don't see it at home, right? Or
No.
they don't see it. They might not hear it, but man, these guys they're a little red in the eyes. They don't want to talk about this, guys. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, these are the true feelings that you guys can kind of see and hear it from these two. And I mean, that just shows how much time and effort that they really want this to take off. And I mean, it's not easy to make the decisions that they make, but at the end of the day, they got to take care of themselves, and they gotta take care of this company and their viewers and everything like that. So, and it sounds like even to this day and till the end of time, they're gonna keep doing that. And so, I mean, you guys are very lucky to have these kind of producers and this kind of talent and this kind of drive from this channel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think take advantage of it when you can. Absolutely.
I could not have said it better myself.
I mean, you just got it.
I think that, I mean, do you have anything else you want to add?
Man, what do you want to talk about?
Anything else you want to talk about?
Man, we could talk about Windows. Speaking of which, insert promo.
Insert ad
here.
Circle City Tent. Give them a call. No. Time? Where are we at anyway? I don't even know what time we're at. Sorry, Blake. I didn't mean to kick you.
No, in all seriousness, though, like, I mean, this whole
seriousness.
So, in all seriousness, like this whole like 25 days of alcohol and
sex
everything.
toys,
Yeah,
all
dude.
that stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Sex toys, what do you want to call it? Yeah, well, you're gonna have to go back and watch that.
Absolutely,
Oh,
dude.
Please don't.
I've seen some.
It's age restricted. It's fine.
You might think of me different, but it's
Anyway.
anyways. So I don't know. I was like, it's one of those things like so much fun.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
When it comes down to it, it's so much fun. And hopefully, like, we were able to entertain a lot of people when it comes down to it. And,
Absolutely.
I was like, it's just being with great people along the way. I couldn't express how much fun that I would have just being on these episodes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, like, I'm glad you guys enjoy it, but it is so much more.
Says the guy that does all like 90% of the work. And it's like,
I mean,
Well, shoot, I don't get in the nitty gritty of it, but it's still fun.
I do a lot of the work.
No,
I do.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could tell.
It's stressful, but
It's
I mean,
not.
it's fun. I enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. So
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
seeing the raw stuff, and then like even tonight, like seeing certain things that were said, like I'm bookmarking them because I'm like, oh, I gotta say that in the show. Like I've gotta make sure that's in the show because that would because realistically, every single time we film an episode, it's like a bare minimum 30 minutes to an hour of footage. And it takes at least 3 hours to go through all that footage, compress it, and condense it to a 6 to 15 minute video.
Yep.
And so there's a lot that goes into that. But all right, we're at an hour and 5 minutes. We're actually probably about 50 minutes of usable footage. So let's ask a few questions to you, and then we'll wrap it up.
Heard.
Although you've helped out quite a bit and did a better job than me and Blake have done in a minute. So
I just like to talk a lot, so that's what I do.
There's definitely
Nothing wrong with that.
No, yeah,
nothing wrong with that at all.
Chatty Cathy. Talk to me. What are you thinking?
So let's. I don't even know, man. I'm lost for words at the moment. Sorry, I'm stuck on the old Blake. But
Shoot.
Well, I mean,
So what would you say? You know, is like obviously coming into everything that you have. It's like, but starting as the bartender, right? Like once I actually got here 2 hours later, and everything is like, but once you're back there, you're starting to make the drinks. Like, what was going through your mind at that point?
yeah, as soon as the camera started rolling, like once we set our action, let's go. Like what was your?
no, honestly, I was just kind of, like I said, bartending is really easy. You get you get a drink, you just add alcohol, add a few other ingredients to it, and that's it. So, I don't know. I mean, it was really just how I was just having fun. Honestly, there's no other way to describe it. I wasn't really thinking a whole lot. I was like, I guess if anything, you know, I was kind of thinking about like how I could, all right, where should I be? Maybe I should be doing this. Maybe I should, you know, maybe I should say this or shouldn't. You know, that's why. But then I think it's all, one thing that was a learning experience here, I guess, was you can't go wrong, right? And if you do, it's like, well, I mean, I like it. We'll use it in a different bit. We won't use it. Let's try this or keep going or blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. It's just a very different state of mind and different mentality and thought process, I guess, that you really take advantage of, like, these content creators. I mean, is that safe to say?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which I think that we are, and I say we, us as PM Media, I think that we're very positive.
Absolutely.
Even when, like, you're not doing what we necessarily want or maybe want to use it for later. Like, I feel like we're pretty positive. Like, we're constructive, but we're not negative about it. It's like, oh, I like that, but let's use it here instead of right here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not...
Absolutely.
We never shut down any idea because it's a great idea. We
Sure.
just want maybe to use it at a different point.
Absolutely.
And I know there were a few times where I have a tendency to do that. I'm sorry. But, like, I'm very transparent, kind of like you.
Absolutely.
Where I'm just like, hey, I like that. Let's do it here. Let me finish speaking first, and then we'll do that. So,
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying you did that. I'm just saying, like,
Absolutely.
that's kind of the... It's like, let me do this, and then you do that.
Are you
like,
saying you're calling me out in front of all your friends right now?
hell
You
yeah.
gonna embarrass me like that?
Hell yeah, I'm going
We're
to
gonna have
embarrass
some
you like
words.
Welcome to Potty Mouth.
that. But yeah, I mean, I think that we try to stay very positive here. I don't think because we don't want to put down anybody. We want everybody
Absolutely.
to be creative and have their own space and their
I
time to
agree.
talk. It's just, you know,
I felt that here. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. I think it's, as long as you guys keep up the, we mentioned earlier in our previous conversations, just like, you got to surround yourself with positive people, you know? And, I know during 2020, it's really hard to do that because
Yeah.
a lot of people, but you also have
Hey,
to
it's
think,
almost over. It's almost over, guys.
Thank God, right?
5 days
Supposedly.
away.
5 days.
We're 5 days away from the end of 2020.
I don't want to talk about that. That's another episode for another day.
Okay, let me ask you this. So,
Definitely can't talk about it. I'm just like, oh,
no,
let's go there.
not COVID. Let me ask you this. So, I completely forgot what I was gonna say, dude. Damn. I just completely blanked. Well, shit. I was gonna say something about.
Are we talking about the 25 Days of Christmas?
No, we were talking about the show, but I forgot what I was gonna say about the show. I was gonna say something that was gonna be profound and great, and then I just totally blanked.
Son of a gun, I hate it when that.
I can't read your mind.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to.
You couldn't
honestly.
read. You couldn't read. It's all about pussy.
I wouldn't want to.
It.
It's all pussy. Pornhub, like just scrolling through. Anyway,
I mean, what do you? I mean, it sounds like. I mean, I got a little taste of just today. I mean, it looks like you guys have a lot of content a lot of ideas that you plan on coming out with, and you know, I was fortunate enough to be a part of some of those ideas.
Yeah, because you've seen stuff that we've given you a sneak peek on stuff that no one's seen yet.
Dude, PM me. I'll tell you guys all about it. It's gonna be really expensive if you really want it inside. Okay. I know those desperate diehard fans that really want to know right now.
It is going to be very expensive.
They're over there scratching like, I want to know what Potty Mouth's doing. No, I mean, I think
yeah.
You got a lot of content, man. I think that's one thing. It's if anything about this show, and anything that I've learned about content creators, you got to keep having that kind of content. You know, even if it is random, even if it maybe not be as good as the previous episode, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, people want to come home and they want to wind down, and they want to watch something that they're going to enjoy. And if that's like you guys just goofing off with a bald bartender in the background, you know, making drinks, you know, like, so be it, you know, like, but like, and that's where you find those people, and then you guys are, I can totally see this developing, like that kind of fan, those fans where, you know, they're very supportive, and like that kind of bounces up. I mean, how couldn't they? You guys are, I mean, I don't know you nearly as much as I hardly know Blake that much, but you guys are already positive influences on a lot of people, and I mean, you can see it, right? So I mean, what are you most excited for season 3, season 4, season 10? What are you excited for season 10, or are you excited for like what's gonna, what are you thinking?
For me, I think that no matter how many seasons we do, as long as the company and the show continues to create a brand that supports positive influence and happiness, then it will have been worth it. I think that the whole point behind the show initially was to be taboo and inappropriate and whatever, but I think it's now become a family where we want to expand upon positivity and being a family, and giving you 15 minutes a day to just zone out and have a laugh.
Exactly.
And smile.
Exactly.
Because if we can make you smile for 15 seconds, it's worth it.
That's it.
And it's not about the money or the fame or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's about
Oh, it's not. I did it for the fame.
the people.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. God damn it.
it's about it's about the people.
Absolutely.
And it's about the people that watch. And
I totally see that. Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question. Final question, and we'll,
All right.
and we'll get out of here. It's 4:20 a.m.
Mm?
Let me ask you a question. So, if you, I have to ask this a certain way. Let me think. Do you believe that you have the integrity and the personality to step into a role here at PM Media?
Interesting.
His first response was interesting.
Yeah, that's a very
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty loaded question.
It is a very loaded question.
I think a couple things, right? So kind of like what we reiterate, I don't think nobody will ever replace Blake. You know what I mean? It's and I think everybody here knows that, right? And I mean, I can't grow that hair. Are you kidding me? Look at that. There's no way. No, but I think it would be hard for me to honestly not want to, just because of the personality that I am. Like, I would love to be able to come in here and, you know, if I've said before many times, I surround myself with happy people. I surround myself with those positive influences, and that's why I'm here today. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't think Blake. I mean, I didn't even know you, right? I'm just helping Blake out. I was
yeah,
helping a
not
friend
really.
out. Really,
You barely knew me.
I mean,
at all.
yeah, and so
Besides
I mean,
like one interaction.
I think if that has enough merit on itself right there, I mean, I just did this out of knowing Blake for a few weeks and just trying to help somebody out. He's like, hey, I think you'd be a good fit. I want you to come check this out. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna make some drinks. Actually, you are, and we're gonna drink them and we're gonna shoot the shit, right? And I say that, and that's so weird that I say that all
because
the
that's
time.
the name of our freaking segment.
And, but that's just like, it's funny though. So I mean, I think there's some of those cues that I've seen where I totally think I could, but I think that's just maybe a conversation that we would have to have, and maybe I think with time we could definitely know. I think maybe popping up a few times, or hanging out a little bit more, or I would love to, but I think it would be very smart to. There's a lot of people out there, man. I might not be the best one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I absolutely. I think that's what. You never know. There could be the next Block A out there.
I tell you what.
Ron or Block A.
That was the most respectful and humble answer you could have given.
I thought he was gonna be like, that was so deflective.
Although
deflective.
It was deflective.
That's
But I feel like it was also the most respectful.
Yeah.
But also in the same sentence, I also think you're like, I want that fucking job.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to come? I mean, people.
Yeah.
People can see.
No,
it,
I just think the way you answered it was it was tasteful the way you said it.
Thanks, Bob.
So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Because you're also paying respect to
Absolutely.
one of the co-creators of the show.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a good point. I think it's a good place to nip it in the bud. You have anything else you want to add?
What do you think, Bob?
I mean, you're not going to hurt my feelings by any means. So when it comes down to it, it's one of those things, and like Aaron knows this right away, is just the fact that, like, unless you like really diss me, or however you want to call it, like, unless you like cuss
Personally
me
attack
out,
you, right?
you're not going to offend me
Sure.
by any means.
Sure.
It's one of those things, like, say what you mean,
Absolutely.
and that's all it is.
Mean
It's
what
like,
you say.
and, yeah, I was like, and you said it perfectly when it comes to it.
Mhm.
I was like, it's not. So if there was anybody to take my place when it comes to it, if I was like, however you want to say it, it was like, I was like, I would love for you to do that.
Really?
If that was the case.
Really?
I was like, that would be something that I was like, I have high respect for you.
I appreciate
Which
that.
is
Thank you.
one reason why I recommended you to
Really?
Aaron
Thank you.
in that sense.
Right.
It wasn't for just bartending in the sense, but I saw you had the charisma when it comes to it, the characteristics when it comes to being a part of this show.
As you can tell, we've had a meeting about this that you were not aware of.
Yeah, it's like, but in the fact, it's like, now, granted, what Aaron doesn't know is that even before I even had a thought of that, I was like, I've known you before that.
Right.
And one thing I thought about in between was, because of the fact that we drink on the show, is the fact that we need a bartender at some point.
Yeah, we do.
Which was
Have to.
you were the first person that came to mind.
I appreciate that, man.
When it came to that. And it wasn't for the fact that, hey, you're a bartender. It was for the fact that, like, not only were you a bartender, but you had the charisma when it came to it. You had the characteristics when it came to it.
He had that like television-esque personality.
Absolutely.
That
'cause
flamboyant, like, I'm out here kind of thing.
I think it's 'cause-
Absolutely. And you could go with the flow of things. I mean, like,
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's it's good insight, I guess. It's hard to see, I mean, I guess those things when I work all the time.
Well, everybody's their own
yeah.
worst critic, too.
Fair.
I mean,
Fair.
like, everything we put out, I think, is, like, subpar, but people love it, so
Fair.
eh.
I love it.
But I think this is a good place to nip it in the butt and put it to bed for now.
426, so.
We'll reapproach this. We'll talk about it again. You'll
Sure.
probably be seeing more of Braxton around. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, guys. And
Absolutely.
I would
Thank
love
you
to
for
come
being
back.
here. Sorry,
Absolutely.
I know we have a tendency to overtalk, but
No, I love.
appreciate you.
Honestly, this is what I get paid to do, guys. I get there to talk to people about bullshit all day. So I
Well,
I appreciate
that's
the
true.
opportunity. I wanted to thank I want to definitely thank you, Aaron and Blake, for letting me come on here and have a good time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had more fun than anything, and appreciate the viewers and everybody out there that are giving us the time to entertain you and shoot the shit with you. So I would love to come back and have another conversation, whatever that conversation is. I'm very transparent, so
Yeah.
another episode, another day.
Well, if you don't mind us using it for content, then absolutely.
Absolutely.
With that being said, guys, that's all for this episode of the PM Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or watch it here on YouTube. If you're watching it here on YouTube, make sure to like this video so we can keep bringing you fun, silly, goofy content like this. With that being said, that's all for this episode of the PM Podcast, and we will see you next time. Also, thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
I
Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
me, bud.
So,
Thanks for having me,
all
guys.
right,
I
guys.
appreciate you.
See you next time.